Pokemon is a phenomenon. Pokemon is something that I think we've seen a lot is cyclical. That interest in Pokemon will peak, I don't want to say every 5 years, but within those kind of multi-year periods, you have these spikes in interest that coincide usually with things going on in the world of the games, or just things going on in the world of people who have been away revisiting and returning. Pokemon, these past couple of years, we've seen a huge surge in interest in the franchise across the board, but specifically in the trading cards. A lot of nostalgia for the early sets. A lot of people digging out their old collections from their attics, or rediscovering things that they had put away and not thought about for a long time. I think during the height of the COVID pandemic, that led to a lot of people tapping into their nesting instinct and really spending their time at home going through the stuff that they have and rediscovering interests that they otherwise might have not been as attuned to. And that's something that for the past at least year or so we've seen a lot of excitement about. And Pokemon is interesting because right now it's not the same peak that we were looking at before. Instead, I think it's really stratifying into, the longtime Pokemon fans who care about the game, who care about the franchise, who are just in it for Pokemon no matter what, really taking the lead and determining what is popular. It's one of those things where we've seen a lot of anniversary products. There was about a year or so ago now a huge amount of things that were released in commemoration with the Pokemon 25th anniversary, and a lot of people have really latched onto that. But at the same time, now as we're going into a new generation of games getting previewed, and a lot of tie-in stuff to things that are going on with the Pokemon Go product that's coming out, or perhaps will have come out by the time that we're talking here.
Yeah, and what I'll add to is sort of like the difference, right? Adam mentioned earlier about how there's usually a cycle about 5 years in terms of popularity, and that actually exists with trading card games. You see that with Magic. People play for a while, they go, oh, well, I want to take a break, and then they all come back, right? And some people come back with vengeance and all that and so forth. The difference is with COVID is that there really isn't any play that's going on. No one is really playing with the card. It's strictly collecting, and that created this incredible popularity in the cards themselves, and then as a result the value of the cards, and people are there've been more questions like, oh wow, in the last half year Pokemon value have gone down a little from a single standpoint. Boxes have become more affordable, which is awesome. That means everybody could collect and open the most recent set, but there's concern about the value of the cards. When everybody felt that Card A is worth a lot of money, they all sent it in to get graded, and there was a delay in grading, but grading all came back around the same time. Now there's a perceived abundance of all these cards, and then the value goes down because people are now worried that it's not as scarce as they thought it was. They just announced in-store play, and that then will take the card playing to a slightly different level. We will actually now see, okay, what is going to impact some of the previous set, some of the current set, because when a card is playable, certain cards that one may not think is valuable, now we're introducing another factor into the demand of the card.
Yeah, I think Pokemon occupies a weird space. It almost has 1 foot in the trading card game sphere and 1 foot in the collectible card sphere. In that, more so than any other type of product, you have that split between people who buy the cards because they want to play with them, and people who buy the cards because they want to have them, and because they just like the collecting aspect, and because they like the characters that are featured on them. Every game has that to some degree, but I think Pokemon really extends very far into both of those realms. And when you have the introduction of organized play again, it might seem like interest is waning from a collectability standpoint just because things can't stay in abundance forever. At the same time, that resurgence of interest for playability is almost like a new infusion of demand that we wouldn't necessarily have seen in the past couple of years.